Alright, Shalom. We're gonna give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Wakakodash.
Double honors to our apostles and elders here at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. Their lesson this morning is gonna go in the same spirit, dealing with this the image of the beast, and how understanding the image of the beast will then have you understand what the mark is, because it's always gonna be a topic. At least the mark is always gonna be a topic. But the image of the beast also is important too. But you still got groups out there who teach contrary to what we teach of what the image of the beast is. To understand the image of the beast, you got to understand the four beasts talked about in Daniel chapter 7. And that ultimately the fourth beast is the end of the world. Yahushua is going to come to destroy the fourth beast. The fourth beast is the Roman Empire. So that fourth beast will have to be in power now for Yahushua to come in. And we're here to tell you that the fourth beast is in power. The Roman Empire, it has been reincarnated, revitalized. It's known as America and NATO and the EU. Right? There's countless books and articles made about the similarities between Rome, America, and Rome, from checks and balances to Democrat Republic, all the way to relationship status. Because a brother did the research. Believe it or not, being a monogamous relationship, they got that from the Roman Empire. They made that a law. America's just following suit. Even from how they look, right? Using these what do you call them? Monuments. These monuments, and there's pictures out there. If you take like a helicopter or whatever, and you fly it above a certain area. Yeah, like DC, everything symbolizes and goes back to Rome, right? Or other nationalities before, but mainly Rome, right? So we started at 11.
This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Now that beast is talking about America. The beast before it, if you read up, it's talking about the beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns, right? It's talking about the fourth beast, the Roman Empire. It had said it had two horns like a lamb. If you study the animal of a lamb is a harmless creature, right? Two horns like a lamb, meaning they come in the idea of goodness. They come to say like they're gonna stop, they're gonna shoot for a world peace. They're gonna do an end to world violence. They come in with the pretty much the image of the devil, right? The devil has the image of being innocent, has the image of being trustworthy, but when he speaks, he got that serpent-like tongue, which proves to you that this man's the devil. He's a snake. That's how the devil operates. Okay, the devil's not gonna come to you showing himself. You can say, well, once you understand him, then you know he shows himself. But the devil comes to you disguised as a friend, as somebody you can trust, and you'll make a deal with him. Only in the end, or the latter part of the deal, you'll realize this man's a damn snake. He just got me. That's how the devil operates, right? It says two horns like a lamb. Those two horns, if you go to the Roman Empire, well, I'll start with today. Today you got the eagle is the symbol of America. You got the left wing, right wing, Republican and Democrats, right? Those are those two horns. And it's the same as the Roman Empire. Because the Roman Empire have what you call patricians and plebeians. And I got the definitions. It says Roman citizens were divided into two classes, the patricians and the plebeians. Both classes lived very different lives. The patricians, in this case would be Republic, were any member of a group of citizen families who formed a privileged class in early Rome. The patricians were the wealthy upper class who owned land and held political power. The plebeians were the working class without substantial wealth. The plebeians worked for their living in jobs such as craftsmen and bakers. That's your Democrat. And demo means people, so Democrats is supposed to be for the people. That's why when they say vote for this person, he's a Democrat, they having you believe like, yeah, he's for the people, he's for the best interest. Whereas somebody who's coming from a Republican point of view, they're just coming in the stead of the wealth.
Right.
They're all about paying less taxes, even though they can afford it. And they all about the what's best for the wealthy, right? So they want you to play this game, being in the politics, being in the Democrat, running for office, playing back and forth. But if you remember the scripture, you understand that both of these horns are attached to the same beast. So it's just a game, and it's set up to give you the illusion that you as a person, that you have power to change, but you don't. That's why every presidency is the same old cycle. They give promises, and then when they get in the office, they don't keep it, period. I remember Joe Biden, somebody asked him about tuition, I think it's college tuition, forgiveness, that's what it was, forgiveness of tuitions. He was like, yeah, I'm for it. Then when he got in the office, Edomite asked him, are you going to wipe away tuition? He said, no, I will not. So that right there is showing you that they're lying. It's to give you the idea, though, that you have power. So then you invested in the next president, you invested in the next mayor. And really, they're still continuing forward with their goal, right? So read that again.
If I can say just real quick, and these Edomites and a lot of our people, they actually think that they're doing a noble act, going out and voting and fighting. But your vote don't mean shit. Because the Senate make the decision, the final decision. See, when you common people vote, it's basically like an opinion. But at the end of the day, the Senate make the choice.
And guess where they got that from? Having a Senate and Senate houses. They got that from the Roman Empire. Period.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Where's that?
Yeah.
They got that from the Roman Empire, where a Senate makes the final decision. So no, your vote doesn't matter. But again, remember, they're part of the same beast. It's what you call controlled opposition. So when they raided, quote, the Capitol, which was staged, by the way. Oh, that's the far right. Oh, that's the far left. You know who's to blame? It's just games, right? To get you all involved. But really, who's controlling it behind the scenes is that same beast, and they have one goal in common: to get to this image, right? To this new world order, and establish this mark. Everything's pointed towards that direction. If everything was truly a democracy, where the people make the decisions, this place would have probably been overthrown a long time ago. That's why you still never truly had an Israelite president. They'll make sure that never happens. The so-called Negro, Latino, Native American president. Barack Obama is not one of us.
Right, straight Hamite.
And it's a game.
Yeah, and that's one of the main reasons why Rome fell. Because Esau know his history. When you go into, I was watching this documentary about Septimius Severus. Really after him, the Roman Empire ended. And then the Byzantine Empire started. So we basically moved you out of power and took over in your stead. Same way how like you moved us out of power during the Renaissance and took over our stead and put yourself up as the king.
Rome also spread itself thin, just like America do today, by deploying soldiers and their military all over the place.
Yeah, making garrisons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got a quick one. This is 1 Maccabees 8:15, and it reads, moreover, how they made for themselves a senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting all way for the people, to the end they might be well ordered.
And that's why when you read about those beasts, he said the force was diverse from the other, because previously it was the rulership, the king was established really by lineage. Father, then the son, and this and that. But that changed when the Roman Empire came. They had a Senate house where people, you could say, were voted in. And there was a lot of manipulation and killing going on. Because there was a point in time where you had like 2 or 3 Caesars and rulers in 1 year or something like that. They make movies about it.
Back in Revelation chapter 13, verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
And that was talking about the 4th beast, aka the Roman Empire. It was wounded, like your brother mentioned, with Septimius Severus, and it was actually a little fewer people before him. But Septimius Severus stands out. Like actually, if you just look it up, they'll jump right to Constantinople and Constantine. But before him was Septimius Severus, and there was even people before him that started to destroy or bring down the Roman Empire. Right? That happened. What happened after that? We got the time period we know as, like I mentioned, we know Constantinople. That's a significant point that they'll tell you about. That pretty much began the Dark Ages, they call it. There was a period of 1,000 years where Esau, the so-called white man, could not come into power. That's Revelation 18 that tell you that his wound was a deadly wound, but it was healed. So he was put silence for a whole 1,000 years, and then he came back to power during the Renaissance period. And the Renaissance means rebirth. It was the rebirth of what? Power, the Roman Empire.
Right.
And it also said he spake as a dragon. So again, he comes with this appearance that, yeah, I'm all for world peace. I'm all about giving rights in Saudi Arabia. I'm fighting for peace in Iran. You know, they're throwing chemical attacks on the children, and the children are oppressed. But in actuality, they speak as a dragon because they're trying to say, look, we got to come and take your rights.
Right.
We got to take your guns. You need to be okay with us oppressing you. Right?
Yeah, if your son decide he want to be a woman, he can do that. Or if your wife want to step out on you, she can do that.
And he's trying to enforce that and make it legislation across the entire world. See, that's why America is known as that harlot sitting upon the beast. Because one, she came out of the beast, and 2, she has great influence of the beast. America was one of the first nations among the NATO treaty, and they have the greatest influence in there, especially the military might as well. And they throw their weight around all the time. You know, Donald Trump, when he was in office, he threatened to pull out of NATO. The fact that you would even threaten to pull out of NATO goes to show you that they think that they got the balls. They don't get their act right, we pulling out. He's trying to say, look, we're better than them. They need us. That's the spirit of America. That's the whore that sitteth upon, right? Keep going. Oh, and it said that everybody should worship that image, worship that beast. Read that again, stop.
And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
Now, you got that?
Thing 7.
No, I told you to look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you study, right, the Roman Empire, if you study their governments, you're going to see that it's the exact same today, and it's the exact same that they pushing towards. So if you just, like this brother did, if you just like look up, Google Roman Empire governments, it tells you 4 ways of governments, right? And you can read the first one, call it out, and read the description.
It says oligarchy and precedent ain't doing that. It says oligarchy is a form of power structure in which power rests with a small number of people. These people may or may not be distinguished by one or several characteristics, such as mobility, fame, wealth, education, corporate, religious, political, or military control.
Now, don't we acknowledge those people today as the wicked elite, where the whole government, in this case the world, is being ran by a small sect of people and the international bankers, right? And these are people, you don't know their names, where their families are hinted at possibly being a myth. You sure? Maybe those families don't exist. They do exist. These are the people that call the shots from behind the scenes, right? So there's oligarchy. What's the next one?
If I may add, there's also another word is shadow government, like what the president has today. The people that you see on TV and in the Senate, and they are just puppets. The true people, you ain't, like you said, you're not gonna see them.
They don't really have a mind of their own. The president doesn't have a mind of his own. The president is just a puppet. Right? They may have leisure to do a few things, but they can't really change anything significant that'll deter the goal, right, for the nation, which is to see this new world order in action. So they may build a golf course, or pass a few laws here or whatever, but it's not deter them from the true goal, which is what the wicked elites want.
Autocracy.
So again, these are four. You just look up Roman Empire governments, and it lists four, right? This is how they operate. It's the same thing today. So we just read one. Said what's the other?
Autocracy.
Okay.
Autocracy is a system of government in which supreme power over a state is concentrated in the hands of one person, whose decisions are subject to neither external legal restraints nor regularized mechanisms of popular control, except perhaps for implicit threat of I don't know what it is. Refresh. It says, except perhaps for the implicit threat of coup d'état or forms of rebellion.
So read it again.
From the top. Okay. It says, autocracy is a system of government in which supreme power over a state is concentrated in the hands of one person.
There it is. So if you look at it from a micro sense, let's say America, the White House, right? Look at it from a global